What's up, everybody? This is Bems.
And this is Ace. And this is Serving Up the Tea, episode 8. So, Bems, what's tea?
My tea today is kind of bitter, honestly. Like, it's not a vibe. Paula Badosa got a little racist, but like, she didn't expect us to find out. So basically, someone on her team, I guess her coach or her trainer or something, did like a little Beijing dump, I guess, from like their time at the Beijing Open. And within it, we find a picture of Paula squinting and pulling her eyes back with a pair of chopsticks.
That's like not even just like racist. It's also like kind of the lowest level of racism.
And also like really played out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it's giving like you just left your small town in some rural place and you went to college and you didn't know how to act when you saw other people from different parts of the world. Meanwhile, this is someone who's been on a tennis tour for the greater part of her like adult life.
Exactly.
So I can't see why that should be happening at her big age.
She went into the comments of the post on Instagram because people were like, what is going on here? Like, this is so racist. I'm so disappointed. Nah. She's like, oh, no, please don't get it that way, with like a sad face. Never thought it would get interpreted this way. We weren't even imitating Asian people. I was playing around with my face and wrinkles. I love Asia, one of my favorite people, and I have plenty of Asian friends. They are the kindest. Red heart, prayer hands emoji.
So I thought I was watching a lot of tennis this week, but maybe not, because I have not seen the scandal. Where do I need to look to find the tea on this? Because there seems to be a lot. What? She replied?
No, that was on Instagram. There was an article in the Daily Mail. That's how big it's gotten.
Oh, it's like it's like past Twitter tea. It's actually like official tea. As official as the Daily Mail is.
Yeah. And so then Paula Badosa gets on Twitter, because the first thing was on Instagram. On Twitter, she goes, hey guys, really sorry. Didn't know this was offensive towards racism. My mistake. I take full responsibility. This mistakes will make me learn for next time. Hope you understand. ... I love you all. Heart emoji. So now we're thinking, okay, she's being a bit more intentional with the apology. Then you go into the replies on that tweet and people are like, we know that you didn't mean any harm and it's okay. And she's responding to all of those tweets with like hearts and like playing the victim vibes.
What a weirdo. Like, honestly, like, I was coming on this pod to talk about how great she's been playing, but clearly for some reason my Twitter is not showing me these because I really haven't seen this issue. But
and I've never really gelled with Badosa. I don't like
every
her.
time she gets so into vindicated. My good graces, because there was a few episodes ago I basically was like, does she know how to play tennis? Then I came back and I was like, okay, maybe she does. And now I'm like, I don't care anyway, because you're a weirdo and a racist and just strange behavior from a grown-ass woman.
That she's dating Titi Pa, who has also been known to make a racist comment or two.
Yeah, I mean, they're just not the sharpest tools, it seems, up there.
But anyway, if you thought that was bad, Magda Lynette landed in Wuhan, posted a picture of the train station and said, and I quote, the virus database has been updated, in reference to the COVID-19 pandemic.
To the fact that they were in Wuhan.
Magda Lynette, by the way, is like 32 years old. She's not a kid. So then her next match, she won. And on-court interview, the interviewer was like, so tell us about your win today. When she's handing her the mic, somebody in the crowd is like, apologize. And they're like kind of like jeering at her. So she tries to take the mic to be like, I know some of you are upset at me. And the presenter snatches the mic back and goes, no, talk about your performance today. Did not even give her the opportunity to apologize. And then she like tries to keep going and they just like cut the interview short. It was so tense. And I was like, fair enough.
Yeah, like don't give you a platform, like,
yeah,
to bring that type of energy into tennis. Yeah.
That's my bitter cup of tea for the day. What's tea for you?
Well, mine is like not bitter at all. Mine is pretty sweet. It's that I've been so pleasantly surprised with the quality of tennis over the past 2 weeks.
Yes, the
Not gonna
Asian swing is
lie.
swinging.
It's swinging, it's rumbling, it's rolling. Like, I
Yeah,
didn't have high expectations for the end of the season. I'm not gonna lie. I
yeah,
thought, one, that everyone was so burnt out from the beginning of the tour. And,
yeah.
the amount of injuries that we were seeing happening, the amount of people complaining about the burnout, like straight up saying that the format of their scheduling
Isn't
is
working for
just,
them.
yeah. So I was like, damn, by the end of the year, are we going to have any of these top players who've been playing consistently throughout the first 3/4 of the
Yeah,
year? And the answer has been yes. People have come, they've taken breaks, whether it's 1 week, 2 weeks, and they've come back with a vengeance. And like some of the points that we've been seeing in Beijing and Shanghai and all these different places have been crazy, in Wuhan. So that's my tea. It's that tennis players are way more resilient than I think we could have ever imagined, because the things that they've
for sure.
overcome to come and produce the best tennis at the end of the year has been so pleasant and so
Yeah,
rewarding as a tennis fan. So that's my
for
what's tea.
sure.
Not much on there. I would say though that I have a larger comment on what's tea, and is that I feel like whereas during the Labor Cup I was completely locked in with men's tennis, the past 2 weeks, while the men have produced good tennis on the Asian swing, the women, I feel like every single matchup has been like, wow, two powerhouses. And that's like throughout the top 50. Like, I feel like the women's tour is so solid right now.
For
That's been
sure.
great, because like even
The
around one
depth
match,
of
I'm
the
like,
field
wow,
is
great
crazy. Yeah,
matchup.
yeah,
Whereas on the men's
yeah,
side, I've been feeling like, okay, they have like a really solid top 10, maybe 20, and then the rest are kind
yeah.
of wonky.
Although we have some Chinese players taking the ATP rankings. Xing Zheng is up to 46. He was 41 last week. I think he dropped a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Shang is up to 49. The Mongolian player I was telling you about, Bu Young Shueti, is up to
Yeah.
72. He was the first Chinese man to make the last four in Beijing and the lowest ranked to do
Mm.
it, like since like 2008 or something. And then one of his
Yeah.
matches, the commentators, I always make note of what the commentators say. One of them was like,
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, they were saying boo hoo. And then the other commentator goes, now his opponents are saying boo hoo.
Okay. Got it. Understood.
I found that
Okay.
so funny. Like, I
That's very
could not
cute.
stop laughing.
That's so cute.
Um, yeah.
Love a cute little joke.
More Asian swing teams. Medvedev is back at war with the balls.
Yeah, I mean, he had a whole official complaint.
Yeah, I think Wilson also supplies the balls during the Asian swing. He says that he just can't like generate enough power. And I think it's so funny because like all that may be true, but the way Medvedev decides to express himself at any given time is always so ridiculous. Like,
It's very theatrical. It's theatrical.
yeah, like in all fairness, he only hit 2 aces and 4 winners while he was playing Monfils. He won the match. He called the supervisor about the
Mm-hmm.
balls. Mind you, that means he went through the umpire to the supervisor to be like, hey, what's up
These
with the
balls are
balls?
trash.
He's
Yeah, he
then
was
he
saying that
says,
these are not suitable for professional players. After five, hits on the ball, they're like completely flat, and then they don't have the correct pressure.
no, he also said the balls are so bad he wouldn't even use them to wipe his ass.
See, on the ATP website, they didn't say that.
They didn't add
Okay,
that part.
they didn't add that part.
Yeah. When he won, he wrote on the camera, nice balls. What?
No, I mean these balls have been
Yeah.
haunting him, and he feel like, okay, you're not the only one playing with these balls, though. It's everybody. So now that's just like how the courts can be hard, but then they can also be slow and fast.
No, he said that the balls benefit players like Yannick
Mm,
and Carlos because they're able to generate power. And he's not an explosive player. So he cannot like make anything happen with the ball that doesn't have enough pressure on. Like it doesn't work for
yeah,
him. Other players have come out and complained about the balls. Fritz, Rublev, Zverev as well.
but isn't that the same thing as them maybe complaining about the speed of a hard court? where like it benefits some players' games, not all, right?
I think that's true, but I think it's a consistent complaint across both the men and women tours that the balls change based on where you're
Too
playing.
much, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like Iga Swiatek has complained about that as well. They were saying even at the U.S. Open, the female balls and the male balls are different.
Yeah, and they were saying that it contributes to injury, right?
There's always something about the balls, yeah. So I don't know if there's a way to like regulate that, but they're just not really able to like adjust as well as they are able to adjust with the courts, because even Shanghai used to be the fastest Masters 1000 on tour, and the courts have been slowed down a bit. I mean, they're still relatively fast,
I
but they're
love
like
that for
considerably slowed
Shanghai.
down.
Fastest courts on tour.
Yeah.
It's giving Fast and Furious. It's giving like
My favorite thing though about the Asian swing is the Chinese nicknames for the players. Do you know them?
No, of
I'm
course you
gonna
do
tell you.
though.
I'm gonna tell you. Iga Swiatek, they call her IKEA. Big Lenka is fried rice queen.
Who?
Sabalenka is fried rice queen.
I saw that, and after her match, they keep asking her about fried rice. Like, are you gonna have fried rice? Every time.
Djokovic is chicken. Yannick is milk roll cake, but that's apparently because there's a bakery brand that called Yannick that makes milk roll cakes. Muhova is fire baby. Tiafo is big fortune because it sounds like big foe, I guess, in Chinese.
Love that for him. He would love that as well.
Rublev is golden monkey.
That's not surprising.
Medvedev is long armed monkey. Pagula and Navarro are big rich and little rich, respectively.
Choking. Like, I like Chinese
Billy
humor.
Boys in the building.
I like Chinese humor. These names are
Casper
funny.
is headmaster's good student because he went to Nadal's academy. And Dimitrov is my lady because of his fashion sense and elegance on court. Okay. And that's what happens when you Van Cleef down.
They said pretty boy. No portrait of a lady.
So yeah, those are my Asian Swing Tings notes. The one thing I did want to say though, there is a Chinese player that's missing, Peng Shuai.
Is it the situation where she actually went missing?
Yeah, she went missing from public view, but they claim she's living safely with her family in Beijing, but nobody like has really seen her like that. She accused the retired Chinese vice premier of sexual assault. She said that they had an affair and he pressured her into having sex with him. The information of the story was obviously censored very quickly by the Chinese government. She disappeared from public view. She was showing up only in like state media by email, and then walked back the accusations of the sexual assault. Naturally, it incited, international concern about her safety. She was like a prominent player, you know what I mean? She was like really good in doubles. And so then the WTA suspended all its events in China. And everybody was like, oh wow, look at them taking like such a good stand. And then although like nothing really changed, the WTA announced its return to the country in 2023, like after the COVID-19 lockdowns. And then she subsequently announced her retirement from professional tennis. And so that is the one thing about the Asian swing that I think is leaving a bad taste in a lot of fans' mouths, because it wasn't really...
It's like a stain.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for a while, because this is not the first time I'm hearing of this.
Yeah, since 2021. That's when she originally
kind
posted
of scary.
Yeah, I mean, I think once the WTA decided to return to Asia, without there being like a really conclusive resolution to her being missing, it was kind of like, it is what it is at that point, because there's, do you know what I mean? Like who else is gonna stand up for it or investigate? Do you know what I mean? So that's I wouldn't have felt right if we discussed the Asian swing in all its glory and didn't, speak about that, because I think that is something. Yeah.
Okay, activism.
You're so annoying. So let's talk about Beijing.
Right.
I loved the presenter, first of all. He was so fun.
Yeah, the way he was saying the names, I was like waiting for the announcements every time.
Yeah, and his on-court interviews, he was so fun.
It's been a fun swing. I'm not gonna lie. Like in
Yeah,
a lot of aspects, it just seems like
yeah,
the players are like refreshed.
for sure. That girl I was talking about on the last episodes from Kova,
Mm-hmm.
she got to the final in Tunisia, first career title in Thailand. Her run ended in round 3 at the China Open after
Mm-hmm.
13 wins in 18 days. She did that, honestly. Like,
Love that
that's a
for
vibe.
her. I wonder if there's players who like deliberately wait and like wait to peak at this time. It feels like it. Like this may be a strategy for some people. Like build up during the year and then peak during the Asian swing.
I think essentially just wait for like the topper players to be tired, essentially, and like find some inroads then. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, like, there's so many people that are like tired, injured. So,
But there are also some top players, like let's say Coco, who have just said, actually, it's
hold
round
that
two.
thought. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
round two, and round two is no different from round one. And she
I
just
mean,
took
for
the whole
Coco,
China
round 2 is
Open.
different from round 1 because she's coming with a completely different energy. Speaking of energy, Qinwen Zhang
Uh-huh.
sold out every match. Like,
I
there
mean,
weren't any seats available when Qinwen was on the court.
she's that girl in China.
No, you know how normally like players come in to like watch matches with it. They had to stand up. They couldn't find seats.
Because she's that girl in China. And that's what she's trying to tell these other players. It's like, I got a billion behind me. Like, please. I can't be number 2. Like, you guys need to understand the pressure.
And Shuai Zhang won her first singles match in 603 days. Like,
yeah, I mean, she had the longest streak of losing in the
singles, yeah.
sports history. Not only did she win her first match in like a long ass losing streak, but I think she took it all the way to like round of 16.
No, she got to the quarterfinal.
Quarterfinal, you're correct.
Yeah. That's the sort of mental resilience that like I don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
After the third loss, I'm like, you know what? Like,
the thing about it, I need people to understand is like when we say 24 straight losses, right? That means you've entered 24 different tournaments and lost in the first round. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not like, oh, I lost and then get to play again. It's like you lose and you go home every single time, 24 times.
And you re-enter another tournament.
Yeah, you just have to be like, okay, off to the airport, different city, whatever, driving, whatever it is, train, and move on.
Cannot believe it. But I'm really proud that she did that. She spoke about how the locker room has been really encouraging for her. The other players have really been encouraging for her. I think that's what's up. I think she can now leave the sport on her own terms because she is an older player. She has had a really long career.
Mm-hmm.
But even during this singles losing streak, she was doing well in doubles. She wasn't like just losing. Yeah. So that probably
is true.
helped.
That is
well.
fair to know that she did have
she
success
well
on another front.
Yeah.
But now she's reconsidering her retirement plans and might stay on the tour longer because not only did she have a win, but like she played really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to Nay versus Corey.
Oh wow. I remember.
I was like mentally preparing. They were supposed to meet in Indian Wells. Then Naomi lost to Mertens. They were supposed to play in Miami. Naomi lost to Garcia, I think. Then in Rome, they were supposed to play again. Then Zhang beat Naomi. So finally in Beijing, 2 years after they played in like what? I think it was like San Jose in like 2022. The head-to-head was 2-2. It was like, yeah. And then Naomi got a big moment in the third set.
Oh, God. After holding down the first set, well.
I was so disappointed. The first set was so good from Naomi.
She looked like, I don't want to say she looked like the old Naomi because she didn't. But she looked
she didn't.
top.
But she
like
was,
it's a new game for her.
She could be that Naomi again.
Yeah. But the game was so solid. And just like her body language was super like she was on.
Yeah, for sure. But you know her main goal was becoming seeded at the Australian Open. But I don't think that's gonna happen now because with this back injury, I think she's out of Wuhan. She's out of the tournament after that. I think it's in Japan. I don't think that she's going to be able to. Although she's like, I think she's in the top 60 or 50 now. I can't really remember.
I think she's cracked the top 50, which is like a huge achievement.
I think she might be like 54 or something. I don't know if she's in the top 50. But she was almost there. She made a joke that she would like really like to avoid Caroline Garcia because that's why she wants to be seeded. But then I don't think that Caroline Garcia is going to be seeded anymore. So even if Naomi were to get seeded, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, she's been a bit inconsistent this year. Not surprised.
You hate Caroline Garcia, so I actually
something just irks me.
Yeah, I shouldn't have brought her up. Actually,
for out of the conversation.
But yeah, Coco ultimately went on to win the title, which you predicted in my inbox.
I did. I just had a feeling. I just knew, and I texted you. I was like, once I saw Sabalenka out, I was like, do you know what? Coco has been playing. She just got a new coach. I think she's going to take this one. And she did. She held it together.
I'd been saying it's the forehand, it's the forehand, it's the forehand. And it was for sure. But it was also the mental. She seemed so fresh, so confident. The forehand was better as well. She was like hitting through it. But it was like also the mental for sure. Like Coco was in a much better mental space, it seemed, than what we saw at like Wimbledon and these other tournaments when she was trying to defend her hardcourt titles. I think she was not in the best place then. Confidence was super low. I think getting Brad out of her box was best.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was specifically him for sure, right? Because I feel like when a problem persists for so long, and then the problem just being there for a long time starts to weigh on your mental. And then when you even just take that first step towards correcting it, whether that is the step that's going to fix it or not, I feel like that increases your confidence because you're like, okay, we're en route to fixing this. Right. And I feel like that's probably what happened here. It's that not that Coco is a bad player or that she's having particularly bad results. Like people have been so tough on Coco, but I feel like she was just able to have that extra confidence boost.
No, for sure. That makes Coco the first player to win each of their first 7 hardcourt finals in the Open era.
She's also the first American to win this tournament since Serena back in 2013, I believe is the year.
Yeah. She actually wasn't even going to play Beijing. She was just going to skip it and go straight to Wuhan, but she decided to play just for fun. And I love that for her. She told WTA Insider that a lot of times people forget I'm still in the developmental phase of my career. I didn't have a complete game at 15 and I don't have one right now, but I've been on tour playing every week almost, trying to be better. I'm super proud of that. And I love that mindset from her. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like she's a baby, to be honest. Yeah. I feel like tennis sometimes skews our perception of how old people, like she's not old at all. And so I think it's really important that she herself knows that.
Yeah, and consider herself a work in progress. So it's like, just release the pressure. And with this win, do you think she's secured her spot in the WTA finals?
Yeah, I don't see how she wouldn't qualify, to be honest.
Yeah, I think she's now she's all but 2 spots to number 4 in the race. This is like the not the ranking itself, but the specific race to the finals, which means we're going to see a lot more of Goff. So I guess I wonder if the players who know like they have to play at finals are like making sure to get adequate rest throughout the end of the season.
They want that cash. You know, she made $1 million for winning Beijing.
True, there's money on the line. There's money to be made. I guess it's like, wow, we just got to win, full steam ahead.
Yeah. My main match point music this week, actually, and I think our listeners are going to start thinking that I'm a liar when I say that Yannick is my favorite player because I talk about Carlos so much. But my main match point music is about Carlos Alcaraz in Beijing. Let me tell you something. Carlos Alcaraz is so good at tennis.
It's really crazy.
No, like, what is that? What is that? How is that? How is this happening?
And it's like real? He consistently makes miracles happen. Like someone might hit a lucky shot and it's like, oh, you got lucky. He's making these shots consistently.
And he is so refreshed right now. You were so right about him getting his energy from those Davis Cup and Labor Cup matches. He is like in a new mental space. Although in one of his matches, he got a code violation for time. Because you know now the ATP players get their own towels. Or no, sorry, they no longer get their own towels. The ball kids get their towels for them because they've shortened the time between points. all in an attempt to like make tennis more palatable to the
Watchable.
casual viewer. They're trying to make it like quicker. Yeah.
Oh, the things these players have to go through.
They've gone back to the pre-COVID rules of
protocol.
them getting their towels brought to them. So he like got into like a tete with the umpire. He was like, I'm always very quick. I never get warnings. You gave me 2 in 1 set. It's impossible to play tennis like this. Like he was so frustrated. Why the next match, you know, he always does his vamos thing. Yes. He combined his vamos and asking for a towel into one movement.
Yo,
and I was like, Carlos, please.
So funny. He's so animated too. So he's like waving the hand in front of his face to signal towel, but he's actually saying vamos.
Vamos. But let me say something though. Watching, and this is like the way some of the players ask for their towels is so hot. I'm sorry to say. I have to be honest. They do like these little like pointing things. It's so hot. Like, oh, I can't explain it. I can't explain it.
And I'm sitting here trying to understand. I'm going to have to look into that and see if that's like a
Ace, I'm telling you, it's really hot. Like
out of context, right?
Yeah, it's just like they be like, I don't know how to explain it. But it's really
and then
hot.
we have
ultimately Carlos won in that really good final versus Sinner. That final was good. I can't lie.
Everyone was so excited for this final to see them match up again.
It was good. Carlos is now 3-0 versus Yannick this year. Has beaten him.
Yannick described them as fire and ice.
I like that Yannick is now trying to lean into like the public interest in their rivalry, because for a while, like he really paid Carlos dust.
Now he can't ignore it, yeah. But they really are the two at the top, so they should lean into that.
Do you remember I told you at the Laver Cup, Caboli said to Carlos on the bench, "You're the best player in the world"?
Yeah.
Apparently he got like a lot of flack for that in Italy. He had to like explain himself, like why he would say that when his countryman Yannick is number 1. It was like a really big deal. And in any case, now that Carlos has beaten Yannick, I think they owe Caboli an apology.
Yeah.
I think they should apologize to him.
And that just brings me up to another thing, is that while Yannick has still been playing lights out tennis, there's still a dark cloud over him and his career right now. I'm not gonna lie. With the appeal of his.
Can you just leave him alone?
With the appeal of his drug test failure case.
So listen, I just want to say, they are not saying what they are appealing is a punishment, because the IATA said that no fault or negligence or whatever, and they are saying that there was fault, so there should be a ban applied. They're not saying that he ingested it intentionally. They're not saying that the findings are wrong. They're just saying that he should be banned because somebody operating on his team is under his purview, so he does have some culpability in it.
Yes. That is correct. Thank you for clarifying as a Yannick Sinner fan. However, it's just like, it's a dark cloud. It's still a dark cloud. Like, he in the shade right now.
Bye, Miss Girl. Obviously, our fine ass feast, as my sister calls him, won in Tokyo.
He did, and he won in style. Like the tennis he was playing.
That championship point he saved with that.
He was like, it's all or nothing, because the risks he was taking.
Hugo Humbert is not doing very well in these all French matchups because he lost to Monfils as well in Shanghai.
I have a theory. He's too friendly with them. Like, he doesn't get that dog out. He's like, oh, it's my friend. Like, it seemed like
he was
friendly from his end.
Happy for Feast when he won. Like, I have not seen anything like that before. He was so happy for him. I was like,
and it was so genuine.
Yeah, it was like from his heart.
But they should evaluate his mental coming into these things. Like, these are not your friends anymore. Tennis. For you.
But yeah, one of my favorite scenes from Tokyo actually was Shelton versus Feast, when they were both like injured. One of them is cramping, the other one's leg.
Yo, that was like a battle. That was like gladiator style. They would like make some crazy point, and then the commentator would be like, yeah, but at what cost?
Yeah.
Like, you just dislocated your knee or something. Like, the commentators are basically like, guys, I think you need to calm down.
It's just an ATP 500. We are not in a Grand Slam. Like, what's happening?
Your career is not on the line here.
last year when Shelton won Tokyo, he wrote on the camera, Arthur, show me something, because Arthur was about to play.
Yes.
He was about to play in a final in Antwerp. He did. I believe he lost to Bublik. I think he lost.
But I love the relationship that they have.
But a year later,
super competitive.
Arthur Feast comes back and wins the tournament. And that means that I think only Feast and Yannick have won 2 ATP 500s this year. And he was the youngest Tokyo champion in history. And he beat like Fritz, Berrettini, Shelton, Rune, and Umber for his title.
It was not an easy run.
Yeah. And he looked good doing it. That shape up did not move.
That shape up did not move. But can we talk about him taking selfies at the end? Because the question is, like, who was he sending that to?
The Snapchat video.
Wait, are you on Snapchat?
No, he if you looked at his phone, it was a Snapchat video he was recording.
But I'm wondering, is this a public Snapchat? Like, does someone have this somewhere? Can we view it? Because I just want to see something.
He's really cute. Sorry.
He's cute and he knows it.
He does know he's fine. That's the other thing about Feast, is that he knows he's fine.
He's a good looking guy. What can I say?
What can
I say?
And I love his attitude. Like,
his attitude is like, what is the opposite of it girl? Because he's that for a guy, like it guy. Just like, aura. Confident, but not too much, but enough that it's like, ooh, you confident. I mean, the Asian swing, it just keeps on giving, because now we have, and I love a Rolex Masters.
You love Rolex.
We have the Rolex Shanghai Masters.
I meant to tell you this because I know how much you love branding and Rolex and this. But because of how it's been raining in Shanghai, they have them playing in some basement indoor court. And the scorecard looks like a rec room scorecard, like scoreboard. And it's like bleachers, like a junior high school gymnasium.
That is not the quality I know and love.
It was just like an interim fix because the schedule was becoming completely out of whack. They missed like 2 or 3 days. Holger Rune waited 6 days to play his round 1 match. Like,
someone mentioned that, and I don't know, maybe I missed a few days of tennis because I was sick this weekend, but I wondered why. I was like, why did Holger Rune have to wake?
It was raining heavily in Shanghai, and they only have so many courts with roofs. Yeah. But Djokovic is playing in China for the first time since 2019. Djokovic is still wearing that knee brace.
He is still wearing the knee brace, and it's interesting because I watched one of his matches. I can't remember which one. It might have been his round 1. Did he play a round 1?
No, he got a bye.
He has a bye. So he played a round 2. And he basically lost the match until the very end, and he came back and won. And I was just like, why would you do that?
It went to a tiebreak both times, yeah. That's true.
It was strange because Djokovic's level was very low. Because while Mickelson has been having this great breakout season, but also
not good enough to be beating Djokovic, please.
Not good enough, but also his level was high and Djokovic's level was just noticeably low. But he held it down and came back to win the match and continue. So good for him, I guess. Everyone's just waiting for him to like
my only match point musing. Well, I have 2 match point musings for Shanghai because obviously it's still ongoing. But Berrettini versus Rune, did you see the video of Berrettini in the tunnel trying to talk to the ball girl? They like walk out with like the little kids. So he's like trying to talk.
Oh my God. He was like, hey, what's up? How old are you? She's like, I'm 7. And he's like, oh, well, I'm a bit older, 28.
The commentator started joking and said that when Berrettini said 28, he wasn't saying his age. He was talking about the number of coaches that Rune has had. What?
Whoa, that is a stray. That is the definition of a stray, because how did we get there?
No. Ace, I was like, huh? Like, I was
hold up. Wait a minute.
I was so taken aback by that. I was like, is this allowed?
Speaking of match point musings, I need everybody to go and look at the match point between Leila Fernandez and Diana Schneider, because one, I was really excited for this matchup. I don't know why, but I just felt these are 2 like consistent good players, so it could be good. And it was a great match to watch. And then Leila Fernandez just sometimes pulls out this attitude from nowhere, and basically the match point, like she was just standing over the ball watching it go out. Like she just already knew. And I loved that little bit of like bravado from her.
Yeah.
It was a swaggy moment.
Layla, honestly, when she's on, it's fantastic to watch.
She's
it's so
really
fun.
on.
It's so fun.
She just when I say the ball was like, it was one of those close calls, but she was just like, I know,
she knew
and she
it.
let it go.
She let it go,
and it was match point. It was like so swaggy, and aura was on 100.
My favorite umpire, Bernardes. He's retiring in like a couple weeks. I think this is the last season.
Yeah.
Made one of the biggest errors probably an umpire could make. I've actually never seen it happen before. But then again, like, you know, I haven't been watching tennis my whole life. But it was the third set.
Never seen it happen before.
Yeah. Just started watching tennis. Wawrinka versus Kaboli yesterday in Shanghai. Kaboli was asking for electrolytes. So he was like calling, not the umpire, he was calling on his little walkie-talkie to ask them for thingies.
Yeah.
And he ends up, I guess he was distracted. So the score was actually 15-all because Kaboli missed the first point. He played a ball out. But Bernardes called the score love 30 instead of, and sorry, this is on Wawrinka's serve in the third. Nobody noticed the error, not even the players, not Wawrinka's box. It ended up being the only break of the match. Kaboli held for the rest of the match and won with that break that he didn't earn because it was actually 15-all and not love 30.
That's crazy. That's like literally just the wrong score.
Literally.
And so wait, is it that it was only caught after the match?
Yeah, after the match was over, yeah.
That's wild.
And, you know, for me, it's not really crazy that the umpire did that because he's human. It's crazy to me that the players did not notice because Kaboli hit the ball out. Like the first point was Wawrinka's point. Then Kaboli won the next point for 15-all. But I don't know what happened that the umpire was confused and it became love 30 in his mind. But it then became love 30 in real life. And Kaboli essentially won the match because of that.
That's awkward.
We spoke about Wuhan slightly, but as a park ranger, shout out to Christian's Court because he made that up for like Alicia Parks fans. She lost in qualifying.
I mean, you just stressed me out with that one.
She had 4 match points and lost.
What's up with her coaching situation? Everybody else has come and done a shuffle to spice things up.
Yeah, I can't actually say anything else about Alicia Parks because we talk about it. I can't. I'm just going to put a moratorium on Alicia Parks for now until something changes because I can't. Insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result, and I can't go insane. I can leave it with you if you'd like to, but I'm good on that. So
no, I mean the situation is just kind of infuriating because we want so badly for her to be successful, but other people just seem to be making the changes necessary to improve, and we haven't really seen much change on her end. But I hope she does soon, quickly, rapidly.
You were talking about I'm not responding because I'm actually done.
It's done.
We were talking about end of season fatigue. I want to read you the list of withdrawals from Wuhan. You ready?
Yeah, go.
Shantek, coaching transition. Rabakina, back. Sakari, right shoulder. Collins, illness. Ostapenko, abdominal. Azarenka, right shoulder, pectoral. Jabeur, right shoulder. Pavlenchkova, back. Svitvolina, right foot. Garcia, right shoulder. Lulusan, left hip. Pliskova, left ankle. Stearns, right foot. Muhova and Badosa also withdrew. What?
Yeah, so I mean, maybe I take back what I said. Maybe the Asian Swing is about to take a turn because I mean, we still have some big girls in the draw.
If Sabalenka gets to the quarterfinals, she will overtake Swiatek for number 1 in the race.
Do you know what? I'm low-key excited. Because
but
I think
she would have to face
that.
Bekic in round of 16. And
she probably will, unless Putintseva can get it done against Donna Bekic.
Bekic leads their head-to-head 6-2. I don't know if you know
It's
that.
Crazy how some players are just your kryptonite because
it's like Muhova and Sabalenka as well.
Yeah. So stepping into the players box.
Box. Some career highs on the WTA side. Kalinskaya is at 13. Bekic is at 18. Andreeva, who is the youngest woman in the entire top 200 at 17 years old.
She has cracked the top 20.
Is cracked at 19. Magdalena Freck is up to 29. Svramkova is 52, Volinets is 55, Zarazua is 79, and Starodubseva is 79. Who that girl was unranked at the start of 2023.
She did her big one.
And now she's in top 100. When she came through qualifying in Beijing, she didn't drop a set until she lost to Coco in the quarterfinals. Like, hello. Watch her. We spoke about Naomi hiring Patrick, but she did an interview like after we spoke about it, I think after that episode. And she said she didn't know if she was hesitant because he had like such a big persona. But then she said like she didn't know if he was a good coach or if he had just coached Serena. Do you know how funny that is?
It's stupid funny. And I don't even think she realized what she said when she said it. Basically like, but Serena's great anyway. So what did you do?
Like,
what was your hand in the win?
Which is what I was saying last episode, is that like some people believe that like he came in after Serena had that slump and they feel like, oh, great players always have a resurgence anyway. So was it just like cosmic timing, or was he actually the one that pulled her out of the slump?
I think that's unfair because I do think that there's special skills and special like emotional and interpersonal skills that are required to pull an athlete out of there. You know? So, I mean, she's taken it back. She's like, no, he's actually a good coach after working with him. And they had a good run in their last tournament until she was injured, but she was playing well.
You are a Murtuglu apologist, and so
catch me at Murtuglu camp next summer, please.
Coco hired Matt Daly, who is known to have a specialist focus on footwork and grip technique. He actually has a company called Grip MD, which is like a training device that like slides onto the handle of your racket and helps improve your grip. So consider the forehand fixed and the second serve sorted.
Consider it done. This is a big run for Coco, okay? Right back, let's touch on her situation, which is really heartbreaking because she's just so talented and so good at tennis.
A Russian journalist stated that she was suffering due to tremendous pressure associated with her former coach, saying there was pressure, insults, and bad words that constantly came from Vukov's lips, which we've seen it, right? It's not something that it's documented. Like there's been times where he was like insulting her, like cussing at her from the box.
We've also seen some signs of this toxicity. One clip that's coming to mind is, do you remember when I think they were in Rome or in Italy somewhere, and she turned to her coach and goes, and of course this was her speaking to him, but I'm just saying like the nature of the relationship seemed to be a bit rough around the edges. Yeah. She was like, why the fuck are you speaking Italian? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it just didn't seem like a healthy coach-athlete relationship. Also,
he's been removed from the list of approved coaches by the WTA Tour. And Andy Roddick on his podcast was like, there's probably bad news coming because there's a coaching list available and they kicked him off, and you don't get kicked off for nothing. So, I mean, I guess we'll see what comes out. I don't want to say too much because we don't really have any concrete news, but basically like the general vibe is that like it wasn't a healthy relationship. A lot of the injuries that she's been putting down as reasons for her withdrawals from tournaments are actually psychological, is what people are saying.
And I think the psychological has also led to like the girl is always sick. She always has a stomach issue.
Yeah, she's
all the time. And I mean, I think a clear case of why this is such a big deal is because there are players like Sabalenka who literally accredit their success to the fact, a lot of their success to the fact that they have such a supportive and good team around them.
If you look at Marta Kostyuk, she was like coached by her mom her whole life, then signed on a new coach, and like her trajectory just changed. She shot right up. She's doing much better. Do you know what I mean? Like your coach obviously has a lot to do with how well you do. And so it's a shame if like the people that are supposed, or the person that's supposed to be supporting you the most is actually terrorizing you.
Yeah.
Another coaching change would be our girl Swiatek. Her and Tomas won 4 Grand Slams together, 9 WTA thousands, had a 37 win streak, 120 plus weeks at world number 1. Fantastic run. But it's come to an end. She said she's looking for a non-Polish coach. I think she's just trying to make some changes to see where she can take her game to. I don't think she was happy with her performance during the hard court swing I don't think she wants to be known as a clay merchant, as they say.
Or
so
a
she's
clay
trying to like switch it
specialist.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's it for the player box. I want to talk about some court couture.
Yeah, I mean, there have been some upgrades for some of the players.
Tell us about it.
I don't know, when I saw it. So we're talking about Kalinskaya switching from Aloe to Nike, which of course is like the behemoth of sportswear, right?
For sure.
Her man's Yannick Sinner is also under Nike, and I just wondered,
big bad.
Did that influence them signing her or her showing interest in signing with them? Did he make that connect for her? Was it already something in the works before he even into her, orbit? I wonder.
I mean, to be fair, she's been rising in the rankings. She's now like a top 20 player. No. She's also gorgeous. Like,
yeah,
she is gorgeous.
She is a beautiful girl.
She's
she has an aura
so like
about her.
She does. It's like mysterious almost. Very demure, very mindful. Kunwen Zhang was on the cover of China Vogue. Love that.
She be doing them high fashion editorials.
The cover was stunning, boy. It was stunning. Oh, so Pavlenchkova left Lacoste in March. So I've been looking out for like new Lacoste players. Jacqueline Christian has moved from Nike to Lacoste.
Love that for her.
Christina Bushka, the Spanish player, is also with Lacoste now. Arthur Fils and Umber were both in the same exact Lacoste outfit during their final in Tokyo, looking like doubles partners. It was very cute. Tsitsipas shaved his beard off. Did you see that?
Looks like a child.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
More of
I didn't love it. But I think that like my overall court couture takeaway is outside of like tennis on court looks, most of the tennis girlies cannot dress. But we'll get into that next episode because it's something that's heavy on my heart, and I think I need at least 20 minutes to talk about it.
Think about the NBA, right? It took them players a long time before they got their fashion order. It takes a while.
Sure, that's fine. Let's get into some doubles trouble.
Yes. I mean, I was so sad to see Paolini out of the singles, but then of course elated to see her and Sarah Irani win in Beijing.
They only dropped one set en route to the title.
Period. They were on fire.
Paolini is now the only tennis player, male or female, to be in the top 10 in both singles and doubles. So she's really having a fantastic
across
season.
the board. That's what she's
they've
doing.
qualified for the year-end finals. So did Siniakova and Townsend. Siniakova recently did an interview where she spoke about. This is the quote. I'm just gonna read it. I think I've achieved a lot in doubles, but no one cares. But that's how it is. I don't care anymore, and I don't think it's gonna change. Which really sucks because if you know Siniakova's season, she went through a crazy run this summer. She won Roland Garros with Coco Gauff. She won Wimbledon with Taylor Townsend. She won mixed doubles with her boyfriend Thomas Mahak at the Olympics. Got gold. She already has a world number one year end in 2018 and 2021. She's world number one again. She has 27 doubles titles, including 9 Grand Slam titles. She has the career slam in doubles. She's won gold with Barbara Krejcikova in 2021 in women's doubles. She actually, as juniors, won Roland Garros, Wimbledon, and the U.S. Open in doubles as well. Like,
yeah,
this is
she's that girl when it comes to doubles.
She is that girl, but if you ask her, she'll tell you that singles is her priority.
That one I don't understand because at a certain point, it should become clear that one thing is your thing.
She says she doesn't even practice for doubles. But yeah, I think it sucks that like she has all those accolades and still feels like, and it's a valid feeling. People don't really care about doubles, to be honest, and that's why we make a point to speak about it on the pod, because I think doubles is so cool. I love playing doubles, but yeah, I think it's sad that she feels that way. But I mean, her feelings are definitely valid. I think that's why they're trying to like save entry spots for singles players and stuff like that to try and get more eyes on the doubles draws. But it doesn't help when they don't really show it on TV.
I also think it doesn't help when the players don't hype the doubles themselves. Like, you're winning consistently at doubles and still downplaying it. Like, you should be acting like, yeah, I'm that girl.
Yeah.
I feel like that would also add, because then singles players playing in the doubles are going to be like guys, I'm out of the singles, but catch me here. Like, you know what I mean? Act like it's a big deal. And then we'll see doubles become more prominent.
Wait, speaking of singles players playing doubles. So Badosa and Muchova were paired in Beijing, and they withdrew after their first round win, Muchova with an injury or something. And so one of the players in the team that they beat, Irina Kromachova, gets on like Instagram and like writes like a whole like call out to them, being like, they withdrew, but they're both continuing to play singles. This is the second time this has happened to her this year, where single players have pulled out to focus on singles, and she says it's disrespectful to doubles players. And then apparently Kromachova herself is not a very up player, because she had an issue with the tennis integrity unit for trying to sell her spot in a qualifying match before. So the minute she posted that, everybody was like, I know that ain't who I think it is.
Wow. They're like, valid point, but not from you. Valid point, but not from you.
Sounds good, but you shut up. You shut up.
You shut up. Like,
you shut up.
No, you have to have a clean slate when you want to bring these things up. But I do agree that Paula Badosa, well, actually, I don't know if it's her specifically, but like, yeah, it kind of brings back to mind the Emma Raducanu thing, where like, why did you commit then? If you knew like singles is your priority and physically you can't do both, why did you commit?
It was actually Muchova that withdrew with a wrist injury or something. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just on a Badosa hate train.
On the men's side of doubles things, Rajiv Ram and Joe Salisbury have split after 6 years. Together, they have won 4 Grand Slam titles, 2 year-end championship titles, 3 Masters 1000, 3 500 titles, and 3 250 titles. And they have parted ways. I thought they were going to like retire together in like a cloud of pink smoke and love, but they're going their separate ways. I'm interested to see what happens. Rajiv Ram is like literally 40 something years old. So I don't really know if he's like retiring and Salisbury is like finding a new partner, or if they're splitting up and finding new partners. It wasn't really clear. I guess we'll see in the season to come. Networthy news for me, there's 2 things I have to say.
Sam, speak on it.
Wimbledon has been trying to expand for like a really long time. It's like been a back and forth thing with like the Greater London Authority. They have received approval finally.
Like to physically expand?
Yes, to physically, because I don't know if you know, but like qualifying isn't played on the grounds at Wimbledon. There's not enough space. It's played somewhere else. So they don't have those things that like the other Grand Slams have, like Fan Week, where you can come and like experience qualifying, stuff like that. People were like booing in the chamber when they got like the approval, by the way. The people that live in Wimbledon, I think, hate Wimbledon, the tournament. Like they don't like it at all. That's why there's no like night session at Wimbledon. You can't play after 11 o'clock and stuff like that. But the chair of the All England Club said that Wimbledon like needed this expansion to keep up with the other Grand Slams, which is true, because the existing site is like, it's very posh and it's very this, but it's small. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're looking to add 39 courts, including an 8,000 seat stadium court, which would like triple the capacity of the tournament. Like I said, instead of qualifying being played at Roehampton, it'll be played on site. It'll allow them to just have more fun, like, you know, like the kids day thing that they do at like US Open and stuff. Like that's what really gets the buzz of the tournament, and it may help Wimbledon to stop feeling so stuffy. You know what I mean?
But I was gonna say, I think Wimbledon thrives off of like being the most exclusive Grand Slam, and like the stuffiness and the fact that there's only a certain number of people that can physically fit into the grounds is what makes it so exclusive. Do you think that this expansion is going to make it like, I don't know, so accessible to the point where it loses that?
You know, no matter how they expand, center court is always going to feel like there's just a certain air there, like the grass. You know, the players in white, like
it does have that. Like you're still the only grass court grand
the Royal Box, you know, like
it's a lot of
the debenture entrance. Like I don't foresee it changing that much. That maybe it's just my limited scope and context, but like I never see Wimbledon becoming like a US Open. It's just I can't see it. They're making an effort. I don't know if you recently saw the LTA has started like a Black Tennis Collective.
Yes, and our friends were doing big things. They did like a Black History Month special episode.
So I think they're making an effort to be more inclusive. I don't know how that will translate to the people sitting on the court. But
yeah,
times are changing, and I think at least LTA and the All English Tennis Club are trying to change with it. So that's interesting.
I'm here
But
for
I
it.
wanted to talk to you about the Six King Slam that's happening in Saudi Arabia. That's my other networthy
The
news.
what?
The Six King Slam.
Oh, this is the one that has like the
5-minute promo video.
Yeah, promo video.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first of all, I want to talk about the format of the tournament. There's only 6 people playing, but Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal are the top seeds, and they have a bye into the semifinals because it starts from quarterfinals, right? The round 1 is quarterfinals. World number 1 and number 2, Sinner and Alcaraz, are gonna have to play the first round, which is so funny because they're not the top seeds in the tournament. Each of the 6 players are gonna get a minimum of $1.5 million for taking part, and the winner gets $6 million. The promo, which is a 5-minute video, I do encourage everybody to go watch it because it's real cinema.
It's real cinema. It's golden era Hollywood cinema.
Holger Rune is this Viking warrior. His eyeliner in that promo is the thing that stuck with me the most. Why did they do that to him?
So I do appreciate this injection of fun into tennis. It's like, let's have fun with this. The actual structure of this tournament is wild. It's like if some crazy tennis fan with $1 billion to spend on a tennis tournament, or probably more, was just like, what's the craziest tennis matchup that I want to see? And then they put together this format. Like, it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
Secondly, I don't know, at what point are we gonna just be like, Nadal's not playing? Because I don't see how this matchup is gonna be exciting except for like nostalgic reasons, because I don't think the level of tennis is gonna be there. How I feel, I'm like, it doesn't excite me.
It actually hadn't crossed my mind that maybe he wouldn't play, but that is
it doesn't excite me because I feel like there have been a few letdowns, and it's not to say like, oh, I'm spending it out. I just feel like we need to get rid of it.
Well, it's happening next weekend, so we will see.
Okay, I'm gonna just like reel this in by saying, like, it is because I'm a Nadal fan that I am trying to avoid extreme disappointment. This is a trauma response. Okay? So to anybody saying that I'm hating, I'm not. This is coming from a place of like, I'm trying to cope with the disappointment that in this year. Not saying this anything on my guy, but like,
not too much on my girl.
Not too much on my guy, but he's been having a rough season.
Yeah. Did you notice that the WTA has changed the way they do their highlights on YouTube?
I absolutely did. They're doing more like the ATP style, which I don't.
But they still post the other style though, don't they?
They do. They still post individual match highlights, but then they're starting to do these like mashups where it's like more like a catchy headline, so you don't really know what's in the video before clicking on it. You just know it's day 2 of whatever tournament.
You know that tournament in Mexico, Acapulco? It's like a 500.
Yes, Acapulco.
They were devastated by Hurricane Helene, like completely messed up. And that same thing happened to them last year with Hurricane Otis.
I mean, this is the thing about hurricane season in the tropics.
And global warming.
Yeah.
Recycle, guys.
South is suffering. Right now, there's a few huge hurricanes just like devastating the world.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So everybody try and recycle. Billie Jean King won a congressional gold medal, and she's the first individual female athlete to be awarded such.
Deserve.
That was networthy news, I thought. I love seeing her with her blazers. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it on the networthy news side of things. Raducanu lost her Porsche. They took her Porsche.
And we're going to have to get more tea on that and bring it back for the next episode.
I got you.
Let that one play out. We're going to have to get Emma Raducanu, girl. We coming for you next episode.
Next on tour, we have a WTA 500. Yeah, Ningbo Open in China. We have a 250 in Osaka, Japan. On the men's side, there's the Six Kings Slam exhibition. There's the 250 in Kazakhstan. There's another 250 in Sweden. That's the indoor hard season is starting for the guys, by the way. And then we have the European Open in Antwerp, Belgium, which is also another 250 indoor hard. So we will see what happens over the. I'm really excited to see how Wuhan and Shanghai play out. Should be good.
Yeah. With that, it's game, set, chat.
Game, set, chat. Bye, guys.
Bye.